Okay. The lighting is pretty bad. Let me see me a little bit more. Okay. About 2 or 3 days ago, I was at the food stamp office trying to check up on my food stamps because, I lost my job about 3-4 months ago. And I know immediately I tried to get some jobs afterwards, but nobody was getting back to me. So I just got lazy. I was just like, forget it. I'm leaving for the military anyway. So that's why I was at the food stamp office. Also because Texas rent release has been paying my rent. They only paid it the first 3 months. Every time I renewed it, it's not been like going through. When I had my food stamps, I lost my card, so I don't know if I still have it this month or what, but I was trying to renew it, but they said I was supposed to go and talk to them or something like that. And then I was just like, forget it, I'm leaving in a few days anyway. But when I was in the food stamp office, I ran into some girls that may be about my age or younger, so either Generation Z or Millennial. I'm a Millennial, and if they're in their early 20s, they're probably Generation Z. But I just want to have a little moment because I'm having a little problem that I see often in my generation as moms, 30-year-olds, 29, 28, 24 to 20, young moms out there. And that problem is immaturity. Can I say it again? Immaturity and lack of intelligence, common sense, maturity. They do not have maturity. And I'm not throwing up no Illuminati sign. I'm trying to kind of explain to you what I'm seeing with my generation and younger. I mean, this young lady had her little boy in there. He about 6, 7. And she's in line right behind me, and she's just like, he was sitting down, and she's like, come here, like she gonna play fight with him, and then he go back and run to the seat, and she's like, come here, and he go back, and it's just too much back and forth. And that's kind of what happens when children have children. Now, it's some young teenagers out there. This is not to knock teenage moms or anything like that, or even young moms in their 20s or whatever, but when you're a good mom, but often the problem is immaturity, lack of intelligence. No, that's not the word. Lack of maturity. Like I said, my mom had me at 24. She was mature. It may be some moms that have kids at 15, 16, and that's not even what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about teenage pregnancy. I'm talking about kids my age thinking they grown just because they out here having sex and having babies. Just because a baby came out your vagina don't make you grown, don't make you smart, don't mean you doing something just because you got a little job and you paying a few bills. Maturity is everything. Common sense and wisdom. That's it. They lack wisdom. My mother's generation, my mother had wisdom. Of course, she was saved. But I feel like my generation, a lot of times when they're raising kids, they lack wisdom. First of all, they don't fear God, it seems. Like our parents fear God. They raise the kids in church. My generation don't seem to be doing that. Maybe some are. I'm not knocking everybody, but a lot of times these kids are, because their parents are kind of young, my age, they're not mature like that. Not from what I see. Like, she kept trying to tell him, okay, come here. Then he ran to his seat. Then he came back. Then he ran. It's like my mom would say, you gonna sit down somewhere and act like you gonna have some common sense in here. But she got this little boy running back and forth, acting like he got ADHD, acting like something is wrong with him, and it's because something is wrong with her. And the whole time she behind me, like play fighting with him, and then he running back and forth like he crazy or something. And then she talking about sex and all this stuff, and then cussing, talking about, oh, I gotta be nice to your daddy. It's almost like my generation, not all of them, looks at having kids like a fetish. Oh, I can have a few kids, get on welfare, shack up with somebody, use his daddy to pay my bills, get some food stamps. She was like, why should I work when I can get it for free? It's like, I never wanted to be in the system. The only time I got food stamps was when I was homeless, and right now, because I lost my job, it's been tough. I just got kind of lazy. I was like, fine, let me just wait till I leave for the Army. And even right now, I lost my car, so I don't even know if I had it this month or not. When I got the letter, they was like, you're not approved anymore. I'm not working or nothing, but I tried, and it was just been hard, so I just got lazy. I was like, forget it, I'm finna leave. But I'm driven. I'm either gonna work. That's how my mama raised. You're gonna be doing something. I'm not finna sit up here and have kids as a fetish to get on food stamps or have your baby daddy paying their bills or something like that. Like, I even heard them. Of course, I gave a scripture or something to him, but she just kept cursing so much. It's like, I don't even want to be around that. Then she was like play fighting. I feel like she really wanted to hit me. And like literally every time I looked at her and the girls behind me, they was all looking at me like, they were looking at me like they wanted to hit me or something, or like, who she thinks she is. Like, I can't stand being around no jealous females. And it's not that I'm the prettiest, but sometimes it's a spiritual jealousy. They don't even know why they like you. They don't like you. They just don't like the God in you because maybe they're not living right. Them demons in them is acting up. And so every time she trying to play with her son, but I'm like, you really just trying to hit me, and you're not finna hit me. So I moved out the way. But I'm trying to tell there's a problem in my generation having kids and younger, and that's a lack of wisdom. Mothers need to have wisdom, and you get that by fearing God, by serving God, even having some type of relationship with the Lord. And there's a lack of maturity. There is a lack of maturity. Thank you, ma'am.
Straight out of 11.
Thank you so much. God bless you. No, thank you. Y'all, these kids, this girl probably like 30, 27. She acting like she 2 years old herself. She got her son acting like he dumb. Because my mom would have said, sit yourself down somewhere. Come here. She literally said to him, come here. Then he went back to the seat. Then she was like, come here again. Then she was like, come here again. That's a lack of maturity. That's immaturity. We in the office. Come on now. You guys see if you, and then even when you at home, you know, so you can play with your kids at home. We out in public. And he running past me every second, running past me. I mean, and then even the lady was like, oh, he playing with her keychain. It's like certain things you don't have your kids doing. Your kids shouldn't be playing with my purse just unaware. I ain't really say nothing to the son because for me, if I'm uncomfortable with your parents or your mama, I feel like your mama a hater. I'm not going to say nothing to their kids because a lot of times their kids be haters too. Or they'll be like looking at you like because their parents hating on you or they feel some type of way about you. Like I said, it might be a spiritual hateration going on, but y'all, there is a lack of maturity and a lack of wisdom in my generation, and we feel like just because kids come out of our vagina and we're out here having sex, like she was like, oh, I gotta be nice to your dad, I guess he paying her bills or something, and then she was like, oh, I don't want to work, I can get it for free. I never wanted to be in the system. I always wanted to work. I was never trying to be in the system like that. I don't need you to give me nothing. I can work for it. I can get it myself if God enables me to. The only reason why right now is because I haven't been working. Like I said, I got a little lazy. I'm like, I know I'm about to go to the military, so I'm just like, forget it. But otherwise than that, I'm gonna be doing something. But that's also because by God's grace, I had hope that I'm going to the military, and I am. But there's just a lack of wisdom and maturity, and there's a lot of jealousy with my generation, and I face a lot of jealousy. It don't have to be physical jealousy. It's gorgeous girls out here, and they don't go through what I go through because they got the same mentality as these other girls. It's a spiritual jealousy. It's the demons in them don't be liking the God in me. I ain't the only young saved one, but I go through jealousy even with saved people and saved young people. I just don't never fit in. That don't make me no better than nobody, but everybody got their own trials and circumstances. I'm just telling mine. But what I do want to encourage you young girls to know is that you are more. She just kept talking about sex and she just kept cussing. I think she thought she was scaring me because she was cussing. It's like, baby, what, you ain't scared? I'm from Dallas. What is a Fort Worth? I'm from Dallas. I done been in Oak Cliff. I done been in Pleasant Grove, which is way hooded than Fort Worth, which is way hooded than Oak Cliff. So what is a Fort Worth to me? I was like, if I wanted to do all that, I could do it way harder than you. You know what I'm saying? What is this? What is this to me? I ain't trying to act like I'm the hardest because I'm just a geek, but if I wanted to, I could have been a straight gangster. I chose not to. I chose to be a geek and obey my mom and obey and follow the Lord, and I'm glad I did. I would have been in prison today. I'm not trying to do that. I want to live, and I want to live for Christ. But my point is, she just kept talking about sex and kept cussing and kept being mature and having her child running around like he's stupid or something. And I said, there's a lack of maturity in my generation. These girls my age having babies, they don't have wisdom. They don't have maturity. They don't have it like our parents had as us 90s. But our parents had wisdom. They was mature, most of them at least. Mine was. And I want y'all young ladies out here that's my age, 30 and younger with babies, to know you're more than your hips. You're more than your vagina. You're more than your beauty. You're more than who you sleep with. You are a child, not a child, I was going to say a child of God, but some of y'all might be children of Satan. But God wants to call you back to him. It depends on the lifestyle you live in. We were all children of God, but depending on who we serve, we're not filled with the Holy Ghost and living holy. We're living for the devil, so thus we're children of Satan. But the Lord is calling us out of darkness to light. I want you to know that you're a queen. I want you to know that you were originally meant to be a child of God. And that God wants you to find your identity, not in sex, not in hips, not in weave, not in makeup, not in wigs. I love wearing wigs. I rock them very nicely. This is Pamela right here. This is Foxy Brown right here. We are more than our hips. We are more than our sexual parts. Like, do you have a brain? Do you have intelligence? You are a spirit that was made for God's glory. And I want to encourage y'all to seek wisdom, to seek guidance, to get your children in the church house, to raise them to fear God, because there's a lack of wisdom out here. I'm not playing. There is a lack. There's a lack of wisdom. There is a lack of maturity in my generation having babies. Our parents, like I said, they had wisdom. They had maturity. We wasn't going to do certain things. They were going to tell us to sit down and act like we had some sense. These girls right here having kids my age and younger, they kids around here running around 20 times. They kids around here hitting everybody, around here cussing them out. And you know what the girls are doing my age? The women are doing my age, because we women now by age, but not my maturity. They laughing. It's time for us to mature to get some intelligence. I don't care if you are from the hood. I don't care if all you know is the ghetto. It's time for us to get educated. It's time for us to seek God. It's time for us to grow up so that our kids can have a better chance at life. Because if not, you know what I noticed in that food stamp office? All these single mamas in there with these babies, and just look at everybody talking about their baby daddy. Then they said something about me talking about, oh, she just don't want no kids because her baby daddy don't want her. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even got no baby daddy, boo. Ain't nobody touched this before. Ain't nobody got to my flower before. I'm kept by God. You feel me? You feel me? The spirit of Esther. And I ain't better than nobody else, but they just be assuming because you're a black woman that you supposed to have kids out of wedlock. You supposed to, like, that's the struggle. That's what keep it being real. Even my grandma was saying that. And even when she started talking about, she was like, oh, once you have your second child, that's what they said, the second child is always worse. I feel like, and they were just kind of looking at me like, oh, you ain't nothing, you ain't about nothing. Because I was telling them about how I was homeless. I was talking to some women in front of me and all this about how I was homeless, how the shelters were bad, how the bed bugs ate us up. And they was like, what? Oh, I was there, it wasn't nothing. But everybody go through different things. I experienced them being unprofessional, being ghetto, kicking me out for numerous things. It wasn't even nothing big. I remember I got punched in the eye one time. They covered that up. They didn't want that girl to get caught when I tried to call the police because I didn't hit her back, and I could have. But I was like, okay, well, the police still need to let her know what she's doing. I could have knocked the girl out, but I didn't. But my point is, the girls in my generation, we need to seek God, raise our kids in church, mature, get some intelligence, and know that we're more than our sexual body parts. Because it's becoming a generational curse. All these single black moms in there with their kids in the food stamp office just doing it because it's free. Just doing it because, oh, I got some babies so I can get some free food. But what kind of job do you have? Don't you want to get into a better neighborhood? Don't you want to drive a nice car? You need to better yourself because this generational curse just keep going. Then they kids in the same projects. They kids in it. Some of them might live nice. They might have nice houses. But the mentality is, I want to get what I can get for free. I don't have to work for it. Let me get it. Let me fool the system. But no, we need to change our mentality. And like I said, a lot of them are just immature and lack intelligence and lack wisdom. So they kids around here acting like little demons, acting like they straight stupid. They don't know how to control their kids because they're not mature. It's like a kid raising a kid. And so the answer to that is, please, I plead with you young mamas, you need to realize you're more than your sexual parts. You're more than a vagina. You're more than your hips, your butt, your thighs. And this girl had a straight flat booty, but she was acting like she was the finest thing in town just because she had 2 kids and using their daddies and getting food stamps and all. Like, what is that? That's dumb. So, and I'm not trying to, I am judging. It's time for us to grow up, black females. It's time for us to mature, to get some wisdom and some intelligence, because they making hobbies out of having kids, getting the food stamps, and settling. When you can better yourself, seek God, be intelligent, get your degree, move into a nice neighborhood, and let your kids have better than what you had, so y'all won't be sitting up here on generational curses, all because you so caught up in sex and thinking you the biggest and baddest and living off your baby daddies. That's not cool. When you can get it yourself, when you can seek God and live for God and be intelligent and raise your kids to have more than what you had, even if you had a decent life. Raise your kids to fear God, to act like they have some home training, to not be spoiled, to not be around here all acting like baby ghetto kids, don't have no common sense, running back and forth. That's the parents' fault. A lot of this stuff that these kids and teenagers doing is because their parents ain't raising them right. This is a message, a warning to the black females my age, the millennials and the Generation Z out here throwing your legs open and thinking you grown just because you having sex and having kids. You not. Not if you don't have anything up here. Not if you don't even know how to think as a mama. Your kid walking all in front of you in the street. Your kid walking all in front of the buses and you way back here twisting, thinking you cute, or with your weave, or with your boyfriend. Come on now. That's not maturity and that's not wisdom. So what I would encourage y'all to do is seek God, mature, and get wisdom, because we're lacking it in my generation. And we're using the food stamps and baby daddies as a crutch and as a get over instead of doing it as ourselves. And we're using our hips and our butt and sex as like, oh, I got this. No, you don't. That just makes you a whore. So it's time to grow up. Mary Magdalene was a whore and she got delivered. So there's just whorish spirits out here. You know what I'm saying? And I see my sisters, you know what I'm saying? And I be trying to talk to them, but it's hard sometimes because they be looking at me like they want to mud stomp me. So I'm like, I don't even want to be around that. I be trying, y'all. I deal with a lot of jealousy. Like I said, it don't have to be physical. There's girls out here, and I'm just a regular black girl. They drop alive gorgeous. And I'm just a duck, fish, whatever you want to call me. But it's a spiritual jealousy, and for whatever reason they don't understand me or they don't like me, and they be I can see it in their face. They be like, they don't be knowing me for 2-3 minutes. I was in that food stamp office, you know, and they, what you say about the shelters? Well, I went, it was cool. Child, so you not me? What is that? And we obviously we carry ourselves different. You over here with some red flaming hot Cheeto hair, and I'm over here with a nice little hairdo. Now it might be a wig, but child, you can't buy class, but you can mature and better yourself over time. And that's what I'm telling us to do, Black. I ain't better than nobody else. I'm just giving some advice, because a lot of y'all are stuck on outward beauty. If you ain't got nothing up here, and if you ain't got God in your heart and His spirit, you ain't nothing. And your kids around here acting stupid. And in order to keep them out of jail, being shot from the cops, shot from each other, being another baby daddy, being another drug dealer, you got to change you. You got to get close to God. You got to ask God to help your mentality change. Because there's a lack of maturity and a lack of wisdom. And the number one thing we lacking is the fear of God in my generation, raising kids and under me. Lord help, Lord help. And then the Generation Z, y'all, we don't have no wisdom and maturity. It was a time where even teenage moms back in the day, they still had a maturity because they had to grow up and raise. These teenage moms, ignorant. Kids all in the street, walking all in front of them, don't have no sense of intelligence, guidance, wisdom. They just young and stupid. I'm just being real. And then they be ignorant and ghetto on top of it. You got to change yourself. You can't do it, ask God. But I got to talk about it because it's a problem. It's a problem, and don't nobody want to notice the kids running around acting all stupid. And the thing is, you don't have to be up in this food stamp office when you don't have to be. You don't have to be here when you don't have to be. So I'm going to talk to y'all about it later.